China's economy is in deep trouble as she has for next decade in power. Hong Kong CNN Business. When Xi Jinping came to power a decade ago, China had just overtaken Japan to become the world's second largest economy. It has grown at a phenomenal pace since then, with an average annual growth rate of 6.7% since 2012. China has seen one of the fastest sustained expansions for the major economy in history. In 2021, its GDP hit nearly $18 trillion, constituting 18.4% of the global economy, according to the World Bank. China's rapid technological advances have also made it a strategic threat to the United States and its allies. It's steadily pushing American rivals out of long held leadership positions in sectors ranging from 5G technology to artificial intelligence. China's increased influence in the global economy. China's GDP has more than doubled in the past decade and now makes up nearly a fifth of the global economy. Until recently, some economists were predicting that China would become the world's biggest economy by 2030, unseating the United States. Now the situation looks much less promising. As Xi prepares for his second decade in power, he faces mounting economy challenges, including an unhappy middle class. If he is not able to bring the economy back on track, China faces slowing innovation and productivity, productivity, along with the rising social discontent. For 30 years, China was on path that gave people great hope, said Dong Guthrie, the director of China initiatives at Arizona State University's Thunderbird School of Global Management, adding that the country is in deep trouble right now. Economic slowdown and rare descent. While she is one of the most powerful leaders China and its ruling Communist Party have seen, some experts say that he can't claim the credit for the country's astonishing progress. Xi's leadership is not casual for China's economic rise, said Sonja Opeld, a professor at Bocconi University in Italy who studies China's economy. She was able to capitalize on an ongoing entrepreneur movement and rapid development of the private sector economy prior leaders had unleashed, she said. She added, rather, in recent years, Xi's policies have caused some massive headaches in China. Chinese President Xi Jinping waved as he arrives for the reception at a great hall of the people on the eve of the Chinese National Day in Beijing, China, September 30, 2022. A sweeping crackdown by Beijing on the country's private sector that began in late 2020 and its unwavering commitment to the zero COVID policy have hit the economy and the job market hard. If anything, Xi's leadership may have dampened some of the country's growth dynamic, Opel said. More than $1 trillion have seen wiped up the market value of Alibaba and Tencent, the crown jewels of China's tech industry over the last 2 years. Sales growth in the sector has slowed, and tens of thousands of employees have been laid off, leading to record youth unemployment. Beijing's crackdown pummeled Alibaba's stock. Alibaba had lost more than $600 billion of its market value since its peak close in October 2020, as China's regulatory crackdown on the tech industry takes its toll. The property sector has also been plunged bludgeoned, hitting some of the country's biggest home developers. The collapse in real estate, which accounts for as much as 30% of GDP, has triggered a widespread and rare dissent among the middle class. Thousands of angry homebuyers refused to pay their mortgages on stalled projects, fueling fears of a systemic financial risk and forcing authorities to pressure banks and developers to diffuse the unrest. That wasn't the only demonstration of discontent this year. In July, Chinese authorities violently dispersed the peaceful protest by the hundreds of depositors who were demanding their life saving back from rural banks that had frozen millions of dollars worth of deposits. The banking scandal not only threatened the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of customers, but also highlighted the deteriorating financial health of China's smaller banks. Many middle class people are disappointed in the recent economic performance and disillusioned with Xi's rule, said David Dollar, a senior fellow in the John L. Thornton China Center at the Brookings Institution. According to analysts, the vulner- vulnerabilities vulnerabilities in the financial system are a result of the country's unfiltered debt-fueled expansion in the previous decade, and the model needs to change. China's growth during Xi's decade in power is attributable mainly to the general economic approach adopted by his predecessors, which focused on rapid expansion through investment, manufacturing, and trade, said Neil Thomas, a senior analyst for China and Northeast Asia at Eurasia Group. But this model had reached a point of significantly diminishing, diminishing returns and was increasing economic inequality, financial debt, and environmental damage, he said. A new model is needed. While she is trying to challenge that model, he is not going about it the right way, experts said, and is risking the future of China's businesses with tighter state controls. The 69-year-old leader launched his crackdown to rein in the disorderly private businesses that are growing too powerful. He was wanting to redistribute wealth in the society under his common prosperity goal. She hopes for a new normal where consumption and services become more important drivers of expansion than investment and export. But so far, these measures have pushed the Chinese economy into one of the worst economic crises in 4 decades. Shoppers walked through Taikoo Li Village Mall in Sanlitun in Beijing, China on Monday, May 30, 2022. International Monetary Fund recently cut its forecast for China's growth to 3.2% this year, representing a sharp slowdown from 8.1% in 2021. That would be the country's second lowest growth rate in 46 years, better only than 2020, when the initial coronavirus outbreak pummeled the economy. Under Xi, China has not only become more insular, but also has also seen the fraying of U.S.-China relations. His refusal to condemn Moscow's invasion of Ukraine and China's recent aggression towards Taiwan could alienate the countries even further from Washington and its allies. What are these options? Analysts say the current problems don't yet pose a major threat to Xi's rule. He is expected to secure an unprecedented third term in power at the Communist Party Congress that begins on Sunday. Priorities presented at the Congress will also set China's trajectory for the next 5 years or even longer. It would likely take an economic catastrophe on the scale of the Great Depression to create levels of social discontent and popular protest that might pose a threat to Communist Party rule, said Thomas from Eurasia Group. Moreover, growth is not the only source of legitimacy and support for the Communist Party, and she has increasingly burnished the Communist Party's nationalistic credentials to appeal to patriotism as well as pocketbooks, he added. But to get China back to high growth and innovation, she may have to bring back market oriented reforms. If he was smart, he would liberalize things quickly in his third term, said Guthrie.